Hi guys, so welcome to my couch. Now we are going to do the highly anticipated mental hospital experience part 2. And this is the second hospital I went to. I was there for 10 days. And basically, I guess I just started to remember a few more things. So yeah, just going to dive right in. So I guess the first thing I can remember was I was in the room that they put me in. They assigned me to a room, and when I got in there, I realized that I was like dressed like completely ridiculous. So for some reason there was like a box of some of my clothes. I guess my parents must have sent them at some point in time, which is really weird because the hospital was really far from my parents' house. But anyways. So yeah, there was like a box of like a few pieces of clothing that I had to choose from. So I just started taking those clothes off and putting some other clothes on. And while I was doing that, one of the staff like walked in the room. She was like, "What are you doing?" And she freaked out because I didn't know that I couldn't change in the room I was in. Because I was the only person in the room. I didn't really know. So yeah, but then she was like, just finish. So yeah, so I finished changing, and then I remember at one point, so they wouldn't let you have shoelaces. They only let you have like slip-on shoes. So when I was walking, I was getting really annoyed because the shoes weren't staying on my feet for some reason. Like they stayed on my feet later when like I was stable, but I just felt like they weren't staying on my feet. So I had a shirt and the fabric was really thin, so I ripped the shirt and like fashioned shoelaces out of the shirt. Like I ripped the ends of the shirt and like stretched them and like fashioned shoelaces, and I threaded the pieces of cloth through the shoelaces, and I looked totally ridiculous because they were like falling off all over the floor. And then I remember throwing the rest of the shirt away because it was like a bunch of scraps. And yeah, I was just like walking around doing my own crazy shit, and they were pretty much just ignoring me or something. I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, so I like kept changing my clothes over and over, like the few outfits that I had. And so yeah, in the first hospital I went to, I wore like pajamas the whole time. Like I had clothes with me, but I just felt like too constrained by like jeans and stuff for some reason. So I just wore like pajamas the whole time, and I was like going to the groups like just wearing my pajamas. So that was kind of probably super embarrassing. I mean, people wear embarrassing things in the hospitals if they don't have clothes, but anyways. Um, so yeah. Second hospital. Um, so at some point I was able to take a shower, and so I went to the shower, and while I was in there, I was like cleaning it. Like basically I had like OCD symptoms where I just felt like nothing was clean and I couldn't get clean and my surroundings were incredibly dirty. So I was like just furiously cleaning everything, and I thought everything was dirty and it had to be cleaned. And nothing would get clean. And so yeah, and I didn't have like cleaning tools. I just had the soap that like came out of the dispensers, and so I was just trying to clean without any cleaning utensils. I don't remember what I used, but yeah. And they were just like, this is as clean as the place gets, and they thought that I was being like super like stuck up, or I don't know, because I thought it was dirty, but I was just having some weird OCD symptoms. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, and I remember like before I went to the hospital, I was having that too. Like this is really weird, but I remember like sitting up on the counter um, uh, near the bathroom sink, and just cleaning my feet. Like I felt like my feet were dirty and they needed to be cleaned. And I don't know if that's an OCD thing, but it seems like it would be. So I was just like cleaning my feet, like scrubbing them, and yeah, I forgot about this. But also before I was going to the hospital, I was having tactile hallucinations, which are basically hallucinations where you feel things, and so yeah, a lot of people feel like there's like bugs crawling on them or something, but sorry, my throat hurts. But so I felt like when I was walking on the ground, it felt like at first it felt like hair was like going in between my toes, and like everywhere I was walking, like this, I was having problems with my feet, and like everywhere I was walking, it felt like hair was like getting in between my toes and like catching my feet. And then when I really lost it, I thought I was walking through cobwebs. Um, so yeah, when I was walking, it just felt like I was walking through cobwebs, and then I got really paranoid thinking that some supernatural being was trying to like grab my feet and pull me under. Um, and I don't remember if I felt like actual grabbing like fingers, but I felt like pricks, and just the ground felt really weird. The ground was not normal, and it felt like I was walking through cobwebs, and I thought that something was trying to pull me down. Anyways, so back to the hospital. Yeah, so also they would like clean the floors with really harsh chemicals smelling stuff, and that like really sketched me out really badly. And so I was like freaking out, like complaining that I couldn't handle the chemicals and I had to go somewhere else, like I couldn't breathe the chemicals. Um, like I thought the fumes were going to kill me. And yeah, so that's all I wrote down, so now I'm gonna have to like remember stuff. But yeah, so as far as the people there, there was this one girl who was a diabetic, and she came there after me. So yeah, when I first got there, there weren't that many people, and for some reason they switched me to another person's room, and the girl who was in there seemed like really pissed that they moved me into that room, and they were like, "Oh, I can't believe they moved her into my room," and just wasn't talking to me or anything, and just seemed really mad that I was in there. And so yeah, not a good roommate experience in my second hospital either. In the second hospital. So then there was this other girl that I met who was a diabetic, type 2 diabetic, and she was like really moody. And I blamed it on her being a diabetic because their blood sugar is like really whack. So she just complained the whole time I was there. And so yeah. And there was this other woman who would not stop talking, and she would be like pacing the room talking. And this one girl was talking to me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, she just won't stop talking." And I said, "Well, she's talking to someone," because I thought she was like talking to people, like the staff or something, but really she was just pacing around, just talking to herself, I guess. But she was talking out loud, and it seemed like she thought she was talking to someone, or she was just repeating the thoughts that were in her head. Like she was probably having racing thoughts, and she was just verbalizing those thoughts. Um, but the girl was like, "No, she's not talking to anyone." So, but every once in a while, I would like go and talk to her, or like listen to what she was saying and talk to her a little bit. And she was saying very weird things. So, yeah, and yeah, she was kind of annoying because she just wouldn't stop talking, and you couldn't really talk to her. Oh yeah, and then once I was stable, I was able to go like to the groups. Like they were like little group therapy sessions, and they were kind of like classes almost. And yeah, so when we went to group sessions, I met this guy. Like we just instantly like clicked and became friends like instantly. And for some reason, I don't know, we just kind of like you, hey you, and then we were just like friends. So yeah, and he was really cool, and I'm pretty sure by the end of it, he had like fallen in love with me or something. So yeah, and when we got out, he like called me, but it went to voicemail, and I never called him back. But I befriended him on Facebook, but we haven't talked since then. He was probably really insulted that I didn't call him back, because he called twice, and the second voicemail he sounded really kind of upset. But I didn't really want to get into any sort of relationship at that time for various reasons, and also I didn't really feel like we were a good match for like something like that, for various reasons. But he, he was cute, and he was really nice, and he was really like awesome and stuff. But anyways, so yeah. Oh, and like I progressively got less crazy. But I remember there was like a music class, because I guess there's like music therapy, and like the boy, or the guy, he was like really good at rapping. So like we all had to like try and do like all like stand up and do like a solo thing. And so when he got up, he like started rapping, and he was really good at rapping. Like he could probably like do that professionally, and like all of his lyrics were like really deep philosophical stuff. I can't remember what it was like now, but it was like, oh my god, like it was really smart. He was obviously like really smart. Most bipolar people are pretty smart, and he was obviously really smart. And so like his lyrics were like really deep and philosophical, and like just a really good rap, and like those were songs that he had actually like been working on and stuff. So anyway, so then I had to go up there, and unfortunately, this is like, I hate this about myself, but I can't sing at all, and I don't play any instruments or anything. But so when I got up there, I just kind of did like some speech or something, which I would never do now. Like I would be like too shy to do anything like that, and plus I don't really have that creative stuff. I guess you could call it creative, but really it's just like crazy thoughts, I guess. So when I got up there, I just started like riffing, like, whatever weird thoughts that I had going on. And I remember saying something about Lord of the Rings, and I don't even know. It was probably really interesting. But when I was done, the guy, he was like, oh, his name was Nathan. That's right. So Nathan, he was like, he looked at me and he was like, that was awesome. So I'm guessing it was like really good or something. But anyways, so yeah. So then I don't know. Okay, so then the doctor talked to me at one point, while I was there, or after I was there for a few days, and he came up to me, and he was like, he talked to me for a second to see how I was doing, and he was really nice. It was some Indian man, but and he said to me, he said, well, it seems like you're stable now, so it seems like the medication is working. And like when he said that, it just kind of like dawned on me that I was different. I was like, oh, stable, huh? Because like when I was out of my mind, I thought that's what reality was, and then it kind of just like progressively, slowly, I got more sane, and I wasn't acting so crazy, and I was acting normal and just being really chill, and not thinking weird things or doing weird things, because of what I was thinking. So I was like, wow, like, okay, I am stable now. And it just kind of dawned on me. I was more stable. I mean, it took me a while, being an outpatient and getting more therapy. And it took a while for my brain to like fully get back together. But it was so interesting, like the medication, while I was on it, like, I could actually feel it in my brain, like, kind of sewing my brain back together, or like morphing the puzzle pieces of my brain back together, or just like loosening or tightening the screws in my brain. Like, I could actually feel like a sensation. It was like, like I could feel my brain just like, like reforming kind of. And that was probably happening. Like, there were physiological and physical things going on in your brain. Because I found my abnormal psychology book from my undergraduate class, and it said that people who have schizophrenia, they have enlarged ventricles or something. So yeah, so there are like physiological things going on in your brain. So I could actually physically feel like my brain doing some weird shifting and like piecing back together type of things. So I just think that's interesting. So yeah, that was part 2. I pretty much said everything else that I could remember in part 1. So yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop it here and see if I can remember anything and then come back. Okay. Hey guys. So I just remembered a correction. So the shoes that they gave me at first were like old man's slip-ons, and they were like made out of rubber, and they were like huge. They were like way too big for my feet. So yeah, I was like shuffling around and they wouldn't stay on my feet, the first shoes that they gave me. So when I fashioned what I said before that were shoelaces, they weren't actually shoelaces. They were just kind of like ropes that I tied around the slip-ons so that they would stay on my feet. And yeah, also like me and the other guy Nathan, we were complaining that it sucked that we didn't have belts because our pants were like falling off. So like we always had to like pull our jeans up and stuff. So yeah, not having shoelaces or good shoes. Like eventually my parents brought me some slip-ons that I had. So that was better. Oh, and my parents also brought me a Beanie Baby. It was like a circular Beanie Baby, and it was like really cute Beanie Baby. It was like in a ball. And so yeah, but I thought that was a bomb. And one of the staff, she gave it to me and she was like, take very good care of this. And when she said that, I was like, okay, so I can't knock it around too much or it'll explode. And she was like, maybe you should keep it under your pillow. And so when she said that, I thought that it was like a spy device. And I had to keep it under my pillow for some reason. And so yeah, I thought it was either a bomb or a spy device from the government. So yeah, basically I didn't know where I was a lot of the time, and even after I got out of the hospital, I like had a doctor's appointment, and I was in there and I was just standing there like I think I might have been like catatonic or something. I was just like standing there, and the nurse was like telling me where I was and what time it was, because I guess she had seen people like that before. And so then I like snapped out of it and I was like, okay. And I like went into the appointment. She was like, you are at blah, 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 blah. She told me like the name of the doctor's office. And yeah, I might have been having like a panic attack or something. I don't know. But anyways, so I just remembered those strange things. So I thought I would add it onto the video. All right, bye-bye. Okay, hi. So I just remembered one other thing. When I was in there, one of the staff members kind of struck up a conversation with me somehow. I don't know how, but and I found out that he was a UGA student, and I was a UGA student, University of Georgia. And he was like, "Oh, cool! Like, what'd you major in?" And I said philosophy, and he was like, oh, you're paying for it now. And so, yeah, that's another thing. That happens a lot to philosophy majors. They end up going insane. Maybe you've heard of Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, or Nietzsche, some people pronounce it. My philosophy professor pronounced it Nietzsche, and she has a PhD, so I think that's the correct way to pronounce it. But yeah, he went completely insane, and I think he was either bipolar or schizophrenic, or he had syphilis. We're not really sure, because syphilis can cause you to go insane also. But I don't have syphilis. Okay. So yeah, I was like really mortified because he had gone to UGA and I had gone to UGA. But this is kind of interesting. Before I went to the first hospital, I actually went to the psych ward at the UGA hospital. And the people in there, they were, like, my parents told them that I had just graduated. And I guess there were nurses or residents or something. And they were like, oh, what did she major in? And my parents said philosophy. And right after they said that, they were like, oh, that explains it. Or they said, like, oh, like, that's what we thought, or we could guess that, or something, because apparently they got a lot of philosophy students in the psych ward. So that probably didn't help anything, majoring in philosophy. But being bipolar is maybe what draws people to philosophy, or it just kind of fits them, because when you're bipolar, you think all kinds of weird things about the nature of reality and stuff. And like philosophers are always trying to like analyze the nature of reality and stuff. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. But anyway, yeah. So I'm actually going to do a giveaway, and I think I'll just make another video doing the giveaway instead of doing it at the end of this video. So yeah, stay tuned for a giveaway that I'm going to do for people who like my Facebook page and all that stuff. So yeah, I hope this video was interesting. This was part 2 of my mental hospital experience. And if you haven't seen the part 1, then go watch my part 1. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I hope you guys have a great day or night, and I will talk to you later.